I was rinsing a coffee mug when Calvin walked into the kitchen. "'Kay." His arms were crossed tight against his chest, jaw rigid, as though he had practiced this posture in the mirror. He didn't say hello, didn't shift his weight. He just stood in front of the sink like a barricade. "Mom," he said flatly, "we've decided. Arden's parents are moving in. It makes more sense." The water kept running over my fingers, hot, almost scalding, but I didn't move them. For a moment, I wasn't sure I'd heard right. "More sense?" I asked. My voice sounded too calm, like it belonged to someone else. "This is my house." He didn't blink. "Not anymore." "We need the space. You'll figure something out." Then she appeared, Arden framed in the doorway like she'd been waiting for her cue. Wine glass in one hand, phone in the other, her body leaning with practiced casualness. She didn't look at me, only at the screen in her hand. "She still doesn't get it," she asked, almost lazily. I turned back to my son. "Where am I supposed to go, Callan?" He shrugged, like a child excusing himself from chores. "To hell," he said. "I don't care." Something inside me didn't break. Paused. One, maybe two beats of silence where the world stopped existing. I stared at him, this boy I had once held against my chest with bruised hands. Stitched jackets for when the winters were cruel. I waited for the flinch, the apology, the human hesitation. It never came. Behind him, Arden's eyes moved over the screen. Kitchen walls already decorating, already erasing me. I dried my hands on the towel, placed the mug down, and smiled, not kindly, not warmly, but enough to unsettle. "All right," I said softly. Her smirk widened. His face didn't change. I walked out without another word, my steps silent on the wood I had sanded myself. Upstairs, the bedroom door clicked shut as carefully as I used to close it when he was little, when I didn't want to wake him. The closet creaked open, and I pulled down the old suitcase. It's the same one I packed when I went to the hospital to give birth to him. It was heavier than I remembered. Maybe not from weight, but from memory. Every shirt I folded carried a decade. The gray one Silas gave me for my first birthday as a wife. The flannel, he said, made me look like I belonged in the mountains, even though I hated the cold. The sweatshirt Callan once draped over my shoulders, back when he called me Mama, and filled my hands with bent dandelions. Downstairs, I heard Arden's laugh, thin, breathy, sound that didn't belong to this house. It echoed against walls Silas and I had raised ourselves 27 years ago. Pouring concrete by flashlight after his shifts at the docks, painting walls with leftover cans from garage sales. After he died, I hadn't cried here. I had worked. Paid the mortgage one commission at a time, sanding benches, carving chairs, selling them at Saturday markets. Every payment marked with a heart on the calendar. Every month survived now. My son told me to leave. I folded the last shirt with trembling hands, not from weakness, but betrayal. Then I remembered I had already been preparing. It started 6 months ago when Arden brought me tea I hadn't asked for and tilted her head as if she were curious. "Callan says you've never written a will," she said lightly. "Rehearsed. Smart to think ahead, you know." That night, I found Lisa Carter's card. Old friend, now a real estate attorney. I told her everything in a quiet voice. The tea, the inheritance questions. The way Arden asked to see the property deed just for refinancing. Lisa listened, then said, "Let's protect what's yours before they think it's theirs." The papers were signed in her office, and the house moved into a private trust. On record, it wasn't mine anymore. It was untouchable. No one knew, not Callan, not Arden, not even my closest friend. So when I zipped that suitcase and walked out, it wasn't surrender. It was strategy. I stayed with Katie in her guest room, with its too soft mattress. At dawn, my phone lit up with notifications. Arden's post, her perfected, sorrowful face. My cruel mother-in-law kicked us out. I'm pregnant. We have nowhere to go. Hundreds of strangers cursed me. Heartless, monster, soulless. Each word was a slap. Until I saw her own reply buried deep in the thread. We're planning to fix the house and maybe sell it to start our new life. Sell my house. Proof of intent. I called Lisa. She put it in writing. I said, "That's not just slander," Lisa replied. "It's attempted fraud. We file now." The notice arrived at 9:12 a.m. sharp. I wasn't there to see it, but I could picture it perfectly. Arden answering in her robe, brittle smile, phone ready to film. The envelope in her hand, the words, "This property is held in trust. You have 72 hours to vacate." I imagined her face cracking, her voice rising. Callan stumbling in, ripping the papers from the man's hand, shouting that it was their house, except it never was. The calls came fast, his name flashing, buzzing again and again until I picked up. "What the hell did you do?" His voice shook. With rage, "It's not a game," I told him. "It's a consequence. You owe me, Mom. I'm your son." "No, I owed you love, and I gave it. I owed you protection, and I gave that too. And when you needed space, you handed me an eviction." He went quiet. Then the line went dead. Days later, headlines surfaced. Local couple under investigation for attempted real estate fraud. Their wedding photo printed beneath the title, "Strangers now turning on Arden." She lied. She tried to sell what wasn't hers. She messaged me finally, "Please don't ruin us. We have nowhere else to go." I marked it unread. When the final papers were signed, Callan sent me 6 words. "I'm sorry, Mom. I messed everything up." I stared at the message for a long time. My hand ached to believe it. To rescue him. Instead, I typed, "I'll always love you. But I can't save you from yourself." And I pressed send. 6 months later, I live above a bakery. Small, simple, quiet. My mornings begin with flour dusting. My hands with the rhythm of kneading dough. No footsteps, no whispers behind doors, no stage smiles in doorways. Just silence. I drink my coffee in a chipped mug by the window, watching the sky turn pink. Sometimes I glance at the photo of Silas and me, both laughing in front of the house we built before the world had sharpened its edges. Some evenings I walk to the ocean, not to mourn, not to ache, just to feel the wind and remember I survived.